Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it.
Since childhood, my parents have said that my brother Miles had the spark. He once rewired a broken toaster and my parents acted like he cured cancer. Never mind that I built my first website at 10 and secured a grant for young developers at 14. When I showed my parents the certificate, Dad glanced at it, muttered, "Nice hobby," and went back to watching Miles throw a football across the yard. That was my childhood. Brilliant, loud, invisible. At family dinners, my mother would pass the mashed potatoes and ask Miles about his business classes, his workouts, his bright future. Me? I was the girl always on her laptop in the corner, probably gaming again, they'd say with a chuckle. I founded Vortex Digital when I was 24. Just me, a dusty basement in Seattle, and a burning need to prove I mattered. By 34, Vortex was valued at $27 million, with clients from biotech to aerospace. But when I told my parents we'd secured Clark Technologies as a partner, all I got was, "Isn't that where Miles interned once? Maybe he helped you get in." That night, I sat in my penthouse living room, the city lights of San Francisco burning beyond the glass, and stared at my phone. Ricky glanced over. "You're doing it again." Doing what? Waiting for them to care. I said nothing. He was right. He always was. Ricky knew me better than anyone, better than I cared to admit. He'd seen me code through fevers, negotiate like a lioness, and sob in my car after yet another birthday call from my mother where she asked, "So, when are you finally settling down?" I tried to laugh. Maybe Miles can give me a recommendation next time I apply to my own company. Ricky chuckled, but his eyes stayed serious. "They don't deserve your brilliance, Elle." I knew that. Intellectually, but something inside me still reached for them, still hoped that one day they'd sit me down, look me in the eyes and say, "We see you." Then came the wedding invitation. Gold trim, imported paper, embossed letters. Miles Andrew Marshall and Gabriella Elizabeth Clark, together with their families, invite you to celebrate their union. I stared at the card, rereading it twice. Not a mention of me, not as sister, not as business partner, not even as a footnote. But this could be my moment. A union between my brother and the daughter of Clark Tech's founder. The same company Vortex had just partnered with. I could be more than just the weird coder girl now. I could stand there, front and center, not because I was family, but because I was essential. I clutched the invitation like it was a key. Finally, I thought. Finally, they'll see me. I had no idea how wrong I was. The Clark estate shimmered like something torn from the pages of an architectural magazine. Marble fountains, imported orchids, servers gliding through candlelight. I'd arrived in a charcoal evening gown, sleek and understated, with Ricky at my side in a fitted navy suit. His grip on my hand tightened as we walked past a valleyed line of Lamborghinis and silent judgment. "You ready for this?" he asked softly. "I was born ready," I replied, faking a confidence I didn't feel. The guest list read like a Fortune 500 directory, and I recognized faces from investor meetings and boardrooms. I was someone in this world, no longer the overlooked daughter. Not today. We approached the check-in table. A young attendant scanned the list, her smile frozen. "Name?" she asked, already nervous from the tension in the air. "Eleanor Marshall, CEO of Vortex Digital." Her eyes darted across the clipboard. She frowned, then whispered something to another attendant. After a tense exchange, she turned back to me, smiling too brightly. "Of course, Ms. Marshall. This way." I followed her across the manicured lawn, away from the string quartet, away from the elegantly lit main hall, through a side door. And then, the kitchen. Fluorescent lights, a metal folding table, a chair between a mop bucket and a tray of canapés. "You must be joking," I whispered. The girl blinked. "This is where you've been seated." For the CEO of the company Clark Technologies is literally integrating software from. Are there broom closets for the board members too? I'm sorry, I just follow the list. Ricky stepped forward. "Get Gabriella. Now." Moments later, Gabriella Clark herself entered. Her gown sparkled like ice, but her smile was arctic. "Eleanor," she said, voice sugary. "We had limited space. We had to prioritize family and VIPs. I am family, and Vortex is the reason Clark's next-gen rollout hasn't collapsed in beta. Gabriella's eyes flicked to Ricky, then back to me. This isn't personal, she said coolly. It's logistics. I stared at her stunned. Then I laughed. Loudly, a server jumped. Ricky whispered, "You don't have to stay." "No," I said, fire crackling under my skin. "But they're going to wish I hadn't come at all." And just like that, I sat in the damn chair, in the kitchen, my back straight, spine steel, my mind already calculating exactly how this would end. Not with tears, with impact. A plate shattered behind me. Someone in the kitchen cursed, apologizing as shards scattered across the floor. I didn't flinch. I sat frozen, staring at the stainless steel wall like it held the reflection of every year I had begged to be seen. Ricky pulled up a stool beside me. "This is insane. We should leave." "No," I whispered. "I've been walking on eggshells for 34 years. Let them step on glass for once." I stood up slowly, smoothed my dress, and strode through the swinging kitchen door. The main hall was a blur of chandeliers and laughter, until I reached the head table. My parents turned as if I crashed a royal ceremony. Gabriella blinked in surprise. Harley Clark froze mid-toast. "Excuse me," I said, my voice calm but cutting. "I just wanted to thank you, Gabriella, for reminding me where I stand." "Alina," my mother hissed, "not here." But I kept going. I built Vortex from my college dorm with 2 laptops and a server I couldn't afford. And now it powers Clark Technologies. But today, I learned I still belong in the kitchen. Gasps. Harley cleared his throat. "Let's not make a scene." "Oh, I'm not making a scene," I said, turning to him. "I'm terminating a contract." Dead silence. I can't work with partners who don't value integrity or people. And with that, I walked out, heels clicking like hammers. The chain of needing their approval finally shattered behind me. I didn't make it to the parking lot before my phone exploded. 10 missed calls from Dad, 6 from Mom, 2 from Miles. I ignored them all. But the text that popped up next froze me in place. "Mom, you've humiliated us. You've destroyed your brother's wedding. You're not welcome in this family anymore." Ricky's hand slipped into mine. "They're just angry." "No," I murmured. "They're finally saying what they always meant." We got into the car. I exhaled, then laughed. It startled even me. "Why are you laughing?" Ricky asked. "Because they finally said it out loud. And I feel free." My inbox pinged. This time, it wasn't family. It was 3 separate emails from executives who'd witnessed the whole thing, offering to buy Vortex shares, schedule meetings, explore partnerships. They saw me. Just then, Miles called again. Against my better judgment, I picked up. "What the hell was that, Eleanor? You think ruining my wedding makes you powerful?" "No, Miles," I said. "Building a $27 million company with 0 family support. That's power. What I did tonight, that was just justice." "You're dead to this family," he spat. I smiled into the receiver. I was never alive in it to begin with, and I ended the call. 3 weeks later, I stood beneath the golden chandeliers of the Helix Tech Summit, watching a room filled with CEOs and investors rise as I walked to the podium. Applause thundered. No one asked whose sister I was. No one sat me in a kitchen. "Ladies and gentlemen," the host announced, "please welcome our keynote speaker, Eleanor Marshall, founder and CEO of Vortex Digital." I took the stage with calm fire in my veins. Just before I began, I spotted him, Harley Clark, seated in the back, arms folded, expression unreadable. Next to him, Gabriella. Her smirk was gone. After the speech, Clark approached me slowly. "You made quite an impression." "I tend to," I replied coolly. He hesitated. "I underestimated you. So did my daughter." I tilted my head. "A shame it cost you a contract." He offered a tight nod. "A lesson learned. If you ever reconsider." "I won't," I said, then turned to Ricky, who had just arrived, beaming. "You ready for your panel?" he asked. "I already had the only panel that mattered," I said, taking his arm. As we walked out, I passed a gold plaque with my name etched beside the summit's founding sponsors. Not the kitchen. Not the background. My seat, front and center. I didn't steal it. I built it. And I'll never give it up again.
Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.